I don't understand the argument that moms, working moms, say to stay-at-home moms, and this is typically a working mom to stay-at-home mom or working dad to stay-at-home mom conversation. Like, I would never be able to financially rely on someone else. Like, what if he died? What if he leaves you? One, I'm not planning on those things, so I don't have to worry about my husband leaving me because he's not going to. Cool. Two, if he dies, one, we have life insurance. Two, I would obviously pivot. Even if I was working full time, if my husband passed away, like, obviously I would pivot. But let's talk about the financial freedom thing. Like, my husband makes the amount of money he is able to make because I am able to stay at home with our children and watch them. Because by me not working saves us over $50,000 a year in childcare. I'll just put it at that. But he relies on me so much too. Like, the man without me wouldn't have clean clothes. He wouldn't have food in his fridge. He wouldn't have a relationship with his children. And not because he doesn't try, but because he doesn't have time. He works too much. And I'm not saying he works too much, but he works too much to do those things. So we adjusted our lives to where I could do those things. But these kinds of comments, I work and I've juggled all that happily. It is such a dig. It is such a, well, you're just a lazy piece of shit. You don't want to enjoy it all. And it's just rude. So Sarah, I'm very happy for you that you have financial freedom, but it's probably good because you're a little rude. And I don't know if I would want to stay married to someone that makes comments like this to strangers on the internet.
Did she really say that at the end? Sounds condescending, which is the very thing she said she was tired of hearing. In today's video, we are going to be hearing from women of all different backgrounds, ages, and experiences about the realities and consequences of being a stay-at-home mom.
Rely on someone else. Like, what if he died? What if he leaves you? One, not planning on those things.
Over 50% of marriages in the US end in divorce. And I can assure you that nobody's sitting on their wedding day and thinking, oh, we're planning to get divorced. I chose to stitch this because this is exactly me when I was 26 or 27. I had 2 young kids. I would remember walking into a thrift store of all places, and I saw one of my mom's old friends, and she was like, oh, how are you? They're so cute. What are you up to these days? Like, what are you doing for a living? And I was like, this is what I'm doing for a living. I'm staying home with the kids. And she was like, oh, and like she had this cautionary like look on her face as she very judgy said to me, well, just be really careful. You know, you don't want to be in a situation where you're reliant on someone. Make sure that you don't have any gaps in your resume and you're keeping your skill set up. Well, clearly I wasn't. I had just said I was staying home with my kids. So I am just offended. I'm like, well, that's not necessary. I mean, we have a really great relationship and we're really happily married. We'll be married forever. 5 years later, I really had to eat my hat, so to speak, because I was miserably married, like in a miserable situation where I could not get out of this marriage. Now, I had given 15 years of my life to this man, and I had poured all of my talent and all of my energy into his business, building his business, because I was staying home with the kids and this was the way we were making an income together. The problem is that I was so naive that in my mind, we were just going to be happy forever. That was the only choice. That was the only option. But I never stopped and thought, what happens if I decide that I want to be out of this relationship? Can I take care of myself and my kids on my own? And the answer was, well, no. I mean, I figured it out and it was a really hard road. But what I wish that I could tell myself back then was shake, shake, shake. Listen to the lady who's a little bit older than you. Maybe she has some life experience that you don't know yet. And that's okay. Sometimes people give us advice that's unsolicited and it comes from a place of bitterness and we immediately just say, oh my gosh, we don't want it. A, maybe we just don't want to hear it because we don't want it to be true. Or B, sometimes it does come from a place of bitterness, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it comes from a place of just cautionary living a little bit more than you, however old you are, and they're just giving this little piece of caution, like, I wish that I had known how much I was risking by having such a big gap in my resume, or by pouring so much of myself into building his career and not taking care of my own career. Because now that I am 5 years down the line, or however many years down the line, and this unimaginable thing happened, I'm now in a situation that I never thought I was going to be in, and I have to take care of myself. And that's why you see so many older women entering the workforce when their kids go off to college and their husband decides that they want to end the relationship now, and he's going off with a young secretary or whoever, and now they are having to start their career at square one because they've given their whole lives to stay at home and to propel his career. So he's flying high, has the great career, making fantastic money, and now she might be getting some money in child support or in alimony if she's lucky. All of this to say, just be smart. Like, understand the risks. If you want to stay home with your kids, fantastic. More power to you. I can tell you right now, I still don't regret staying home with my kids. I still cherish the fact that I had that time with my kids, even though I didn't do it right and didn't have all my ducks in a row. And I definitely put myself in a situation where I didn't have choices and I had to dig myself out. I still don't regret doing it. I don't regret staying home with my kids. And I would still encourage other people to do the same thing. I would just encourage them to educate themselves and to make sure that they have a partner who is making sure that they are financially stable and that they would be able to take care of themselves in the instance of the unimaginable. Whatever you do, do not give up your career entirely, because when you give up your ability to take care of yourself and your children, you are giving up the ability to have the choice to leave something that's not serving you.
I stayed at home for 13 years. I don't have a lot of regrets about that because I was taking care of my 2 kids, taking care of my home. My husband's in the military. I feel proud of the work that I did raising my kids and taking care of my home. But gosh, I have so much regret right now. I have so much regret that I stayed home. I'm in a hole right now that I'm trying to dig myself out of. And I just think to myself, I never should have trusted this person with financially, mentally, emotionally. I should not have put my life in this person's hands. Most days I try to be positive about this changes that are going on in my life, especially through this divorce process. I'm going to have good days and bad days. And like a few days, I've had good days. I felt really hopeful, confident in what I'm doing. This is the best thing for me. But today is such a bad day. And I just feel like an idiot. I just feel like a complete and total idiot. Like, why did I think it was a good idea to just completely financially, mentally, and emotionally just depend on this person? Especially when there was so much evidence, when there were so many indicators that I couldn't depend on this person. And I just kept doing it for years. I'm trying really hard to dig myself out of it, but gosh, it's really hard. I just feel so much freaking regret. I'm like, why was I so dumb? I never should have trusted him. I should have been more independent. Even if I was married, I should have gone to school. I should have gotten a degree. I should have got a job. I should have done more. And I just sat on my ass. I depended on him. You know, maybe I sound bitter or cynical, but just don't stay at home. Don't stay at home. Don't depend on a man financially. Don't think, oh, he wants to be a provider. He takes care of us. No, don't do it. Just don't. Don't do it.
I saw a post encouraging wives to ask their husband what's more important when you come home. 1, that the house is clean. 2, that your dinner is ready. Or 3, that your wife is all dolled up and cute for you when you get home. And so I loved it and immediately asked my husband, and he said the most important thing to him is food, which I kind of guessed, but I wanted to make sure. I loved that post and how it encourages us wives to truly be selfless and prioritize what is it that my husband wants. Because to me, the house being spotless is what I prioritize. So knowing that for him, of course, that's important, but dinner being ready and fresh and hot for him when he gets home is number 1. That's definitely what I want to prioritize. And so yesterday he had a 12-hour work day. So I thought, let me make his favorite meal, which is fettuccine alfredo with just some broccoli on the side, which is actually really, really easy to make. But anyway, I encourage you, ask your husband, see what makes him feel most welcomed and loved when he comes home from work. And just remember ultimately that serving our husbands, yes, it's serving him, but ultimately we're serving Christ if we do it unto him, which he told us to submit to our husbands and to love our husbands. And so that's what we are doing when we serve our husbands and our families well.
Why is tradwife content suddenly blowing up?
Because people my age that were traditional wives are getting divorced and realize that they threw 20 years of optional, available, could have been energy into the workforce, into their future. They threw that away doing laundry and watching their kids. Now, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't trade staying home with my children for anything. However, I would have insisted on some sort of investment into my future, either by way of a 401k, an IRA, a home in my name, or I would have had to have some sort of side gig where I could have put that on a resume if anything happened to my husband or our marriage. And so people my age, women that are in their 40s and 50s that have raised their children, who have been traditional wives, are coming forward and talking about the realities of that. Because someone like my grandmother, who couldn't have left her husband no matter what, because she went from high school and her parents into being a stay-at-home wife and mother, she could never have left, ever. And so I, being 51, I am like one of the first or second generations of women being traditional stay-at-home wives who are coming out and saying, don't do this to yourself. And so trad wife content is becoming super popular right now because what's happening is the trad wife is glamorizing staying home and being a homemaker and a stay-at-home mother, which again, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you talk about the fact that if your husband dies, you're screwed, like triple double screwed. I have a family member that if her husband died or left her tomorrow, she would be a stay-at-home wife, broke on her ass with 4 kids and no way to support herself. Or if he died, she's completely screwed. And for all of you out there that say, just marry a really good man, that's great and all, but what if you're sick of this really great man? What if he dies? What if he becomes like incapable of going to work? It's not that trad wife content is extremely popular right now. Everyone's being mean. What's happening is that we are the second generation of women coming forward to say, quit being so goddamn stupid and protect yourself. 50% of marriages end in divorce. And while he's making $100,000+ a year, you have no skills, no career, no resume, nothing. Except for kids and a dog and God knows what else. You'd be living in an apartment while he's got his new 20-something in his penthouse or the family home. So good luck. This content isn't becoming popular because we're mean. This content is becoming popular because you're glamorizing a lifestyle that you have known nothing about. You know nothing about. You're just a baby trad wife, and that's okay too. And by the way, I'm not angry or bitter. I own an island and a Porsche. I have an amazing husband, but don't get it twisted. My kids were eating 99-cent pizzas when I was a single mom. We didn't go on vacation and we had no money to go to Burger King. It's not bitterness. It's reality. If you get traded in, that's all there is to it. Your entire life is dependent on whether or not he still likes you. Good luck.
The truth is that there is women who actually would love to be stay-at-home moms, take care of the kids, be the feminine woman and be there for her husband, and she does the things around the house and the man provides. The problem with that is the fact that a lot of these men in today's generation are just really fucked. Because a woman just never knows. Like maybe in the future he ends up being physically, mentally, or verbally abusive. And then she's been with this guy for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever the number is. So now if she wants to leave this guy, she's kind of stuck because career-wise, she never really did anything for herself. So instead of that woman taking that risk, she would rather at a young age focus on herself, get her shit together, even when she's in a relationship maybe. So that way, if something was to go wrong, she can, do her own thing. And there are men who are mad about this, but it's like, bro, put yourself in her position. What would you do?
I can't be a stay-at-home mom anymore. That's the thought that just kept running through my mind today, and I'm so embarrassed and ashamed that I've had these thoughts lately because I know I am so lucky and I'm so grateful to be able to stay home with my babies, and this is everything I wanted. But lately, for some reason, everything has just felt hard. Like, it's gotten to the point where I don't even want to get out of bed in the morning because I don't have the energy to mom, and I hate feeling that way. And it's not like physical energy, it's the mental load, the mental exhaustion, the emotional exhaustion that goes into staying home with a 2-year-old and 7-month-old. And my toddler, she is amazing and so smart, but she has become increasingly jealous of her little brother, and it makes it really hard to get anything done. And like any 2-year-old, she's testing her boundaries right now, so she's pretty much a Sour Patch Kid 99% of the time. I'm also a working mom. This is my full-time job, and as grateful as I am for this job, and it's much easier than being an ER nurse, it still takes time and energy. energy. Maybe I'm just getting a little stressy, depressy, or need to up my Wellbutrin.
Hi, my name's Holly, and I decided that my husband was going to tell me for the very last time today that my job is easy and being a mom is super easy because I get to stay home with the kids all day. So I left him in the middle of, very, very early in the morning, right before my son wakes up for his very early morning bottle. And I went and got a hotel room. I got an Uber so that he would have the car for the kids. And I got myself a hotel room. And I'm about to go get a bagel and eat that bagel and watch TV and sleep. I don't have to check out till 11 a.m.
Like you, when I first saw that video, I had questions, lots of questions. And then it just started getting a little bit darker. So going onto her page, it looks like she's been in an emotionally, financially, physically abusive relationship with her husband, that she finally came to a breaking point because he just truly didn't understand all the crazy amounts of shit that a stay-at-home mom needs to do. So he was just belittling her because he felt like her job was just easy. He ended up taking his kids to his parents' house. She didn't like that because apparently they're just a really bad group of people. And it just reminded me once again that I want to 100% be the safe space for my daughters. And I want to stay here as long as possible. Because I'll be damned if my daughter would have to feel like she needs to run to a hotel room because her husband was treating her like shit. I pray to God that I can stay on this planet as long as possible, just so that way I can be that 100% safe space for my daughters. Or give me the right aim, because I don't want to miss.
If you listen to these stories, there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. However, the possible danger is having a partner who can betray you, which is something no one can predict.
I just want to know if there's any other ladies out there whose dream job is to be a stay-at-home wife. Because honestly, I'm trying to understand the desire to want to be a girl boss or like a breadwinner. Like, do you know how much I would love to just be able to stay at home, raise our children, cook, bake some cute little muffins or something, buy some throw pillows, make sure the house stays nice and organized, do those like nice little fridge organizations like we see on the TikTok videos. Like, that is what I would love to do. Like, my dream career would be to be a stay-at-home wife and mother and taking care of the family. Like, I understand now, like, society's kind of pushing for women to pursue their careers and basically, like, become men, but I don't know. I just want to be in my feminine, like, you know, how God created it to be. Like, the woman to be feminine, the man to be masculine, and for them to go out and provide and work, and then the woman to stay at home and take care of their family. Like, is there anyone else that wants it too? Because, like, I feel like I'm alone here. Ladies out there whose dream job is to be a stay-at-home wife. Because honestly, I'm trying to understand the desire to want to be a girl boss or like a bread cook, bake some cute little muffins or something, buy some throw pillows, make sure the house stays nice and organized, do those like nice little fridge organizations like we see on the TikTok videos. Like, that is what I would love to do. Like, my dream career would be to be a stay-at-home wife and mother and taking care of the family.
I support your dream, no matter what it is, but let's not over-glamorize stay-at-home motherhood. Let's not over-glamorize motherhood, because this is what we've been fed, because this is what you see on social media. These are those cute little snippets of a day in the life with my kids at home and doing the fridge organization, or like the cute, funny little my kid helps me with the baking kind of thing. And those are literally 3 minutes, and they are not a direct reflection of what entire days, weeks, months, years of what that looks like. And I love this for her. Like, honey, if that's what you want to do, love it, do it, but do not be surprised when it is not as glamorous as you think it's going to be. When it is no longer fun trying to make muffins with your children because everybody's screaming and there's flour on the floor and somebody has the muffin mix in their hair and they've cracked eggs and the eggshells are now in the bowl and you're trying to fish them out. And it's wonderful. Like, it's motherhood is amazing in its own right. And it is also the hardest thing I've ever done. And I think a lot of moms, I know a lot of moms will agree with me on this. It's beautiful. It's fulfilling. It's the hardest work you'll ever do. And it's so easy and fun when you're not a parent to think about and dream about what your life is going to look like and how simple it's going to be. Oh, toss my kids in the car, we'll make a quick Target run, we'll get some throw pillows, we'll get some, some gingerbread houses we can make, and it's going to be adorable and fun, and I can shoot cute little videos and show it off. And yeah, there might be a few days like that, but you're going to have a lot of days where your kid's going to fight tooth and nail every step of the way, getting in the car, going to Target, keeping them inside the cart, keeping them from not running down the aisles, keeping them from acting somewhat civilized, and not just, okay, I gotta get in, I gotta get out, or honestly finding a way to go to the store without them altogether because it's simply easier and quicker. I'm not going to say that motherhood can't be like that for you, because it absolutely can, and it has those moments. Those moments are just not an everyday, every hour kind of occurrence. And this is why I talk about, honestly, how hard motherhood can be, because I thought the same things before I had kids. I followed the mommy influencers. I thought, wow, we can have these cute matching outfits and we can take these cute fall photos, and I'll get this great stroller and we'll go walk the city market on Sundays, and I'll be this amazing stay-at-home mom. And then I had kids, and I realized I had been looking at motherhood through somebody else's forced rose-colored glasses. And I, like a lot of moms, got a real rude awakening. I want motherhood to be everything that you think it's going to be. I want it to be beautiful and wonderful, and I want you to love it, and I want it to be amazing. I just want you to hear the realistic side of things as well, so that you have the most accurate understanding. You can hear both sides. You can see what you see on social media, and then you can talk to actual moms in real life, actual stay-at-home moms, even just even working moms, and even just moms in general, regardless of their employment status, getting the full picture and hearing from everybody who's actually done it to make the most informed decision, and not just go off of what you have here, which is based off of what you've seen on TV, what you've seen on social media, what you've seen in movies, and not what it is like to live it every single day, every minute of every day for years on end.
If you don't have two vehicles when you're a couple, or a couple that agrees that one of you are going to stay at home and becoming a stay-at-home parent, but you go, and we don't need two cars, we're going to save money, we need one car. Immediately, it's a no. It's a no. Because it is not easy to be stuck at home with kids 24/7. And if you think it's like cute and fuzzy, he's going to go to work and then he's going to come home and then he's going to take the baby and then I'm going to go out and do anything by myself, you're stupid. You're stupid. You ain't going nowhere, because he's going to end up working late. He's going to end up saying, oh, I got to stop with my buddies for a beer, or vice versa. I got to stop with my girls for a little night out. And then that happens over and over. You start to resent your partner and hits the ceiling. You're creating that on your own. The other, number two, do not get rid of your own bank account and your own finances. Let's say you don't have money coming in. You need to have a bank account at least with $25 in there. So when you do leave, when you have to have a hotel room, that you have a Visa debit card to get a hotel room. Do not stop some kind of cash flow into your own bank account. I don't care if it does come from him, if it's allowance that he gives you, put some of it in there and, use the rest for your household. Why the f*** can you not learn? They do not give any fuck about you once they're done. They're done. You could be having a seizure on the floor and pregnant, and they'll go, oh, are you good? Let me call an ambulance. And then they walk away. You're their ex. They don't give no f*** about you anymore. That's it. Like, I don't understand, why is it so hard these days to get it? People are ruthless. You just had that man's baby, and he promised you that he was going to take care of you and the baby, and you were sold this magical dream that, like, I'm going to take care of you, babe. I'm going to give you this credit card, and then the credit card ends up being declined. Why did you turn it off? Oh, I wanted to make sure that my credit was good. And then you have to rely on him for money just to even get a cup of coffee. Why do you need the cup of coffee? But he can go get himself a brand new set of rims, and because he's working, he's the one that's making the money. And you feel stupid asking because he is the one that's making the money. Listen, I know there's a lot of women that will say, he would never. Yes, he would. And yes, he will. And yes, he does. And yes, he did. Simple as that. So I don't understand that we're here telling you, do not lose your independence. You need to make certain that if and when that relationship ends, okay, if and when, because nothing is forever today. We're in 2025 almost, and people still believe that they're going to be in love forever and ever and ever. No. Nope. Not even if you're staying together because you are too scared to be away from each other. You're just living in toxicity because you're codependent. You're not in that relationship because you love each other and you're going to be forever. You're blah. I can't say it enough. How many miserable people are in a relationship together right now, but because of the finances and them being tied up, or they're going to be broken, they're going to have to start all over and they don't want to. How many people are so miserable today? Holy shit. Young, old, middle-aged, it doesn't matter. There's not a demographic that's just like perfect right now. Everyone is in the state of, I don't like you, but I'm stuck with you. I'm stuck with you. Couples are not sleeping in the same room anymore. They're not even seeing each other. They're just like, hi. I took the kids to the dentist. Oh, thank you. One eats in the room, the other one eats in the study, if you're lucky to have a study. It's easy. And then you show up for Christmas for the family photo. Yeah. Don't give up your independence.
Being a stay-at-home mom is not a job whatsoever. It's a privilege. You're privileged.
I really tried to understand his side here, but I just can't. Because you're right. Being a stay-at-home mom is not a job. Because having a job implies that you get to clock out. And I understand, maybe at your job, it is very difficult. And maybe you view taking care of children, cooking, and cleaning as not as difficult as what you do. But it's not the difficulty of the tasks. It's the time. When you have a job, even if you work overtime, you clock in and you clock out. A stay-at-home mom does not get to do those things. A stay-at-home mom has to get up in the middle of the night because the husband has to go to work in the morning. And not only that, she has to work Saturdays and Sundays. And remember, if your wife were to die, you would have to pay someone to do what she's doing for free.
I get this question all the time. Why don't you just be a stay-at-home mom if you're not happy with your daycare? The answer is I just haven't found a good daycare. I'm walking by the park right now and it's a super hot day today. It's going to feel like 40 degrees. There are 2 daycares here with their kids dressed in their swimsuits and towels, and they're in the splash pad playing. When I dropped off my daughter this morning, they were like, oh, it's going to be too hot today. We're not going outside. I see these amazing daycares. I see them in the park all the time. I go talk to them. I ask them what's the name of the daycare. How do I get on the list? I'm on these wait lists. I'm just not getting a spot in them. The other day I saw a family daycare in the park setting up a picnic for her kids. A picnic! I would die for a daycare that gives my daughter a picnic. Second reason why I would not be a stay-at-home mom. Daycare is so cheap here. It's $9 a day if you're in the subsidized route. I'm in the non-subsidized route, but we still get a good tax credit, so my daycare comes to $16 a day. I cannot justify not working in exchange for paying $16 a day for daycare. It just doesn't make sense. Third reason why I wouldn't be a stay-at-home mom, I love my job. My job fulfills me. I love being a web designer. I love building my agency. I have so much fun during the day doing projects that really drive me. I'm lucky that I get to be a freelancer and I have a lot of flexibility, so I can drop my daughter off late. I can pick her up early. I'm heading to a cafe right now so I could work there and socialize with other people. Like, I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom.
Ladies, do not allow a narcissist to make you a stay-at-home mom. We all talk about letting men make us into single mothers, but no one talks about letting a narcissist make you a stay-at-home mom. It is just another form of control and you will be miserable. Especially if you don't have your own income or transportation, you will be stuck when it's time to leave. Whatever plan you guys made for you to stay home with the kids may sound good at first, but I'm telling you, they will get worse in their cheating, their abuse, and their control. The last thing you want to be is stuck with your kids with no money, no transportation when the situation gets worse.
I want to say something controversial. I don't think anyone should become a stay-at-home mom unless they are 100% certain that their husband/partner would pay someone for that position. What do I mean? I mean being a financially dependent individual within a partnership, within a marriage, within a family. is an extremely vulnerable position to be in. And I say that as a stay-at-home mom with no outside source of income. But the amount of trust you have to have on your partner to be able to fully rely on them financially, because that amount of control and power could turn extremely abusive. And I don't just mean physically abusive or emotionally abusive, which it could as well. I mean financially abusive. If you don't have the amount of respect from your partner that you would have having a full-time job as a stay-at-home parent, you shouldn't do it.
If I could give one piece of advice for new stay-at-home moms or just stay-at-home moms in general, literally one piece that is going to solve pretty much anything. I've been a stay-at-home mom for over 5 years. I also had a totally different life pre-kids, let's say boss babe, independent, traveling the world, doing all these things. And if you would have asked me halfway into the stay-at-home mom thing, I would have given you a dissertation. I would have been like, well, you need to keep learning. You need to pick up a hobby. You need to get dressed every day. Make sure you work out. But now that I'm 5 years in, I'm telling you, the number one thing you need to worry about is the isolation. You need to be around people on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and that is going to solve pretty much everything. And the isolation, stay-at-home moms can tell you this, can sneak up on you, especially if you're wrapped up in your kid in the baby phase and the next thing you know, you haven't seen people or you don't regularly see people the same way you used. Of course, having hobbies and continuing to learn and getting dressed up and doing your makeup every day, these are huge mood enhancers. But first of all, if you're going to be social every day, you probably have to get dressed and put on some makeup. So that's just by default, 2 birds with 1 stone. And then a lot of the stuff that I need to constantly be learning, I need to better myself, I need to not feel like I'm just stuck inside a house and withering away, that whole thing, that just dissipates if you have good social connections in your life. And I believe that's not just with stay-at-home moms, that's with everybody. If you really have great social connections that you're connecting with on a daily basis, not much else matters. When you're a stay-at-home mom, especially when your kids are little, it's hard to prioritize anything for yourself since social things and all this stuff doesn't come naturally in our society. So if there's one thing to focus on beyond your kids on a daily basis is getting out there and building relationships with other moms, with other people, and just put being social with good relationships at the top of your priority list, and everything else will fall into place.
I want to talk about this comment for a second because whenever people talk about the rising cost of childcare, the number one solution that is presented to them is that it would be cheaper for one parent to stay at home. And when people say this, oftentimes they're talking about the mom because the assumption is that if we can't afford childcare, mom is going to stay at home. But here's the thing, short term, it might make sense, right? It might on paper be cheaper for somebody to stay at home with the kids, but long term, it has a huge financial impact. When women leave the workforce, even for a short period of time, it impacts not only their lifetime earnings, but their retirement savings, Social Security, their benefits, but also their career opportunities. Trying to re-enter the workforce later, say when your kids are 5 and in kindergarten, is actually incredibly difficult. Unfortunately, employers don't like a career gap that is 1 to 5 years long. And that's the reality of the situation. And that's if you have one child. And so oftentimes women are sold this lie that all you have to do is stay home while they're little. You'll save all this money and then you can come back. And it's not a big deal. The career that you've worked for will still be here. But the reality is employers don't want to hire people who've been out of the workforce for 5 years. When they do, they don't pay them as well. They don't have the same title and they have to work harder to get where they were. Their lifetime earnings are impacted. Their retirement is impacted. And it puts women in a position where there's a lot of financial risk and a lot of financial insecurity simply because they had children. So while this is a solution, I don't think it's the correct solution. We need to fund childcare in this country because it is infrastructure, because it's important and it's good for kids and it's good for families.
I'm talking mainly to ladies. You heard me. Don't be a stay-at-home mom. And what I mean by that is being a mom is the hardest thing. Being a stay-at-home mom is a hell of a lot harder than most things. But what I mean is to always keep your foot in the door to something that makes you outside of the home. Do not make your whole life your home. It is a part of who you are, but it is not who you are. And so if you have the financial ability to not work, great. Don't work. Then take 5 hours a week and volunteer. Take an hour a week to volunteer. I don't care, but stay somehow you outside of your kids. And I think if you talk to almost every single person, and again, a lot of women, who left the workforce and then got a divorce, they say, I wish I had never left the workforce. On the flip side, the ones who stayed in the workforce have said, thank God I stayed in the workforce. So it's great to be with your kids. Always keep your foot in the door to make you, and not just the wife or the husband or the parent that you are in that moment.
I'm tired of people acting like being a stay-at-home mom is just a privilege and not also a sacrifice. You have to pay housekeepers, janitors, nannies, caregivers, teachers, nurses, all that. And I'm all that in a day, baby. I'm a 25/8 on-the-clock domestic engineer. Act like it. And I can't speak for every mom, but don't get me started on me having my own dreams and goals. Let me preface this by saying being a mother is my greatest accomplishment. Or did I have to rearrange some of my plans to do so? Yeah, and being a parent is a sacrifice, period, but being a stay-at-home mother is an all-day sacrifice, okay? All I'm saying is put some respect on our names immediately, because everybody ain't able, and everybody ain't able to do it well, period.
I'm going to explain to you why being a stay-at-home girlfriend or stay-at-home wife is the dumbest thing you could do as a woman. I know it's currently glamorized on TikTok at the moment that it's amazing to have a provider man for you, looking after you, paying all the bills, and you can go to Pilates, drink your $7 matchas, and that's your existence for the rest of your days. However, here's a problem with this. If this man cheats on you, leaves you one day after 20 years of being married, finds the secretary more attractive than you and walks away from you, your entire existence is absolutely You as a woman have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And this is something I teach on my TikTok page. You have to be independent mentally, emotionally, financially, and physically. You have to be able to walk away from anything and anyone that does not serve you. Because one day, trust me, if the odds go against you, I don't wish this on anyone. I wish everybody to have a happy marriage. But life is unpredictable. Be smart, play dumb, have your own income, and build your own life. Do not forget about yourself. Even when it comes to friendships, a lot of women give their friendships up. Womanhood is one of the most powerful things. And this is why a lot of women, once they have a baby, become very lonely because they never nurtured their female friendships and girlhood and womanhood while they were not pregnant, didn't have children, but they were head over heels for their men and they abandoned everything else. A lot of women neglect their own hobbies, their own purpose in life. Their entire mental, physical, and financial focus is on their husband. So one day when this man is not in their life anymore because God forbid something happened to him or he's decided to cheat and run away with the secretary, that woman is fucked, okay? Because the entire existence of this woman is tied and ruled and overpowered by a man.
If your man tells you to be a stay-at-home mom, don't do it unless he's like a millionaire. Straight up. Because I used to work. Now I don't work. But then I get yelled at because I'm spending money. Yeah. It's not working out for me. It's not. I don't like when a man tells me how and when to spend my money. Now, here's the argument that we're having. Okay. He's saying that I worked, but at the end of the year, I don't have a lot of money saved up. He's right. He is right because I spent money. But baby, I paid for the birthday parties. I helped out with the rent. Not a lot, but a little bit. Okay? I bought our daughter clothes. I paid for Disneyland twice. I bought shoes, shirts, clothes, toys, eating out, coffee runs. Because I'm just an independent woman when I was working. Like, I never was like, hey, I went to Target and I spent $100 on our daughter. Give me money. Never. Now that I'm not working, I'm stubborn. I still spend my own money. He gave me his credit card and I do swipe it here and there, you know, for gas. Yes, baby. But I guess because I'm a Latina, I don't know. I still use my money and he gets mad. I got to go back to work because I just can't. I cannot do this. Like literally, we just got in a big argument about spending money. And I said, do you know that Middle Eastern men, pay for everything? He got so mad he walked out the house. Like, I really hurt him. And I feel bad. I shouldn't have said that. But if your man is not a millionaire, don't be a stay-at-home mom. You guys are gonna fight about money. I swear. Unless he's not that type and he don't care. But mine obviously does. We're trying to save up for a house. I get it. But it's like my 1-year-old, her birthday's next week. I want to have a party for her. My 5-year-old, her birthday is in May, and she wants to have a party and invite her kindergarten friends. What are we going to say? I told him, I was like, let's just not have parties then. Let's just not have parties. Girl, we went to Walmart yesterday, Her birthday theme is Bluey. Yes, and I wanted like a birthday banner that said happy birthday with Bluey decor on it. It was $5, and he's like, no, we don't need that. Granted, he's right, but I'm like, it's so cute. He's like, we don't need that. He let me buy the Bluey plates. He's like, what do we need that for? I was like, what do you mean for the cake? He's like, you already bought plates and stuff. I'm like, yeah, but these are Bluey plates. Ugh, I just can't. Someone yell at me. Someone yell at me in the comments. Just, I'm stressing.
Growing up and witnessing financial abuse has made being a stay-at-home mom like my worst nightmare. Literally. Imagine a man asks you to stay at home and be a stay-at-home mom, and then anytime he gets mad, he calls you a broke B-word who don't help with the bills. Like, no. No. Or imagine he starts cheating on you and doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and because he knows you don't have no money to take care of the kids and you gotta stay, he keep on doing it. No. And I feel like the people who aspire to be a stay-at-home mom, either one, you guys have way too much trust in men and you guys don't fear men enough, or two, you guys have never truly seen financial abuse. But once you see it with your damn eyes, you will never aspire to be financially dependent on a man. I mean, that's literally my worst nightmare. I mean, I could scream just thinking about it. Hell no. I don't aspire to be a stay-at-home nothing. I must always have my money. Always, 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 always. Because when a man knows you literally can't leave because you literally don't have a coin without his okay, I promise you, he will start treating you different. And when financial stress is on a man, even the best man can start acting crazy. Please don't ever set yourself up like that. If you take anything from me, let this be one of the things you take from me.
About 2 weeks ago, I had a breakdown as a mom because I felt that I had a stay-at-home mom day, and the last thing I want to be is a stay-at-home mom. Now, hear me out before you start, talking crap to me. If you are a stay-at-home mom and you enjoy it, and that is like the love of your life, your passion, and you just adore that life for you, I am so happy for you. That's not who I want to be. I am an influencer, a content creator, and that's my full-time job. I work from home, and I also own a brand. I have 3 children, and I've always been independent financially and just in general. I'm like a go-getter. So I adore being a mom. My children are my entire life. But having my entire life be just about them is too much for me. I adore my kids, but I need date night, girl time. I'm a daughter. I am a friend. Like, I need that extension of my life in order to thrive and be the best mother that I can be. I take my hat off to you stay-at-home moms that literally surround your entire life around your children's activities. Those moms that have kids and like 1, 2, 3 kids in multiple activities, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you're like running around after school. That can't be me. My kids have their activities. I even had to tell my daughter, you cannot join something because it's too much for me. Like, you have enough you do, and it's too much for me. And she was very receptive to the idea. She understood. She's 8 years old. And I told her very honestly, like, it's too much for me. I can't do it. I would love for you to do everything. I can't do it. So I'm just here to say that it's okay to have boundaries with your own children. And it's okay to be a selfish mom and just do whatever the heck you want to do for your own mental well-being and your own health. These kids are going to be all right. Throw that freaking mom guilt out the freaking window and tell them kids no, okay? But yes, I had a mental breakdown because I had one particular day where I felt like a 100% full-on stay-at-home mom. I don't want that life. You girlies that love it can keep it.
The sad truth about stay-at-home mom culture is that stay-at-home moms have a tendency to use their free time to continue to contribute to the household. So here I am enjoying my free time. Both my kids are napping. It's the hour overlap time in the middle of the day, if I get that nap out of the toddler, where I have a break. And I am choosing to fold laundry. I am choosing to do this with my spare time. Not because I'm, a woe is me person, but because if this doesn't get done, it will continue to pile up, because laundry is a continuous task and it never stops, right? My husband's going to come home to a hamper that's empty, but he's immediately going to put clothes in it. And all of a sudden that task is no longer complete. It's been complete for 5 minutes. Okay. So I know that if it doesn't get done, it becomes my job. Or my husband then has to come home and help out, and then we don't get to spend as much time together because we are working on doing the things that I could have done during the day, but then he gets frustrated because then he comes home and I'm burnt out because I've done everything during the day. And he's like, well, now we can spend time together because there's nothing left for us to do, but I don't want anything to do with him because I'm exhausted mentally and physically and emotionally. And I've been touched by the 2 humans that I grew from scratch for us to enjoy and love. And that is the greatest thing I have ever done. And they are literally my entire universe. But I am allowed to complain, and I am allowed to have free time that does not include folding clothes. So please tell me when I can find that free time. Thank you. Love you. Bye.